Well, Epstein's girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, is going to walk away from justice. She's going to walk out the front door and leave. And not because of a pardon. She might get a pardon. She's going to walk out of a camp because prison camps have no fence. And they have walkaways every single day of the week. Because you've seen it, Greg. What happens every night at a prison camp? Every night.
And probably 5 nights a week anyway. People would jump. Oh, we had a little property marker basically, and 5 nights a week, guys would jump that and either go get a bag full of alcohol, drugs, steroids, whatever was ordered from them, and usually go for a quickie with their girlfriend that was dumb enough to be bringing it to them all the time. But yeah, it's minimum security is called minimum security for a reason.
There's no security. In fact, it's so bad that one time after you left here at Florence, a couple guys brought a couple fat girls in and hit them in the shower during count even. If they can get a couple fat girls in, somebody like Maxwell can get out. And that's the whole, how the hell she get there? She was charged with trafficking juvenile females for sex. And you can't have that charge and get into a camp. So I looked it up and they say, well, if you do this and that, we can make adjustments. They don't make adjustments. They don't send those people to camp. You got to be under 10 years, and you can't have a crime like that to be in a camp. I had to wait till I got under 10 years. I was white collar. But she's in there now. Why is she in there? How does this happen? And she's in a place where people have walked out, confirmed walkaways. They don't get, it's so easy to get out. They don't even call it escape. They call it walk away. And
Yeah,
really
and
think
that's
about it.
it.
They escape from the pen. The whistles are going off. The trucks are running around. The COs, the Marines are out there and stuff. If a camp, they leave to go, shit, they're not here for a count? Really?
They don't. You don't even hear about it till the next day. That's called walkaways for a reason because they don't even run; they walk. Uh, There's no hurry. I don't know how she got there, Jack. She's got a public safety factor, which both of us know about. And I did time with a lot of chomos, child molesters, in the low, where she was in a low, and they have a sex offender program there for them, and there's like unsavory characters in a low, and that's if people think, well, what's the difference between a low and a camp? Well, I was in a low with women. It was a low for us guys, but it was a medium for the women. When you get behind the fence, there's more people that are missing teeth, have a lot more ink, more gangster. The girls too. I did time with all kinds of women when I was in the co-ed prison. So this isn't a guy thing, and they're more gangster. And in fact, at where I was at Pleasanton, the girls were higher security than the men. So I don't blame her. But at the camps, you get a little bit better class of prisoner, as I was telling you who she was in with over there.
Yeah, well, it boils down to, yes, her attorney goes, well, she's in with some tough people to other prisoners. He said, well, it's a prison for God's sake. I mean, it's, what do you expect to be? And when I was down in Latuna, we had a bunch of, they call them the Mo's in there and stuff. And I remember a counselor one time saying to the in our unit, the general population in our unit, he said, I got some of you guys are qualified for a camp. He didn't like white people. So he said, no white people. But I got some Hispanics. You guys are qualified for a camp. And he says, all you Mo's, you can never go to a camp. That's not my rule. My rule's on the white people. He said, you ain't going. But he says, the Mo's, you guys can never go. And that's their rule. I don't really care. He goes, but they couldn't. So that's their rule. And, being a child molester, those guys were in there for looking at child pornography. If they actually molest a child, unless it goes across the feds don't care about that shit. Trafficking, they do. When we're moving around and selling them, and she's selling them and making them available for her perverted boyfriend, that's a bigger deal, So.
Well, that was a heinous crime, Jack. I mean, come on.
Sure.
I mean, grabbing underage girls and then kind of blackmailing them too. They were taking videos of them and saying, "What do you want? You want this to come out?" They probably would have never showed it, but this was a dirty bitch. I hate to say it like that, but she was. As far as her being in a bad prison, like I said, I did time with girls. She probably already she had herself a girlfriend because she likes girls and girls and guys. And so I'm sure they all do. They have girlfriends and that. So I don't think prison was that hard for her. But now she's at the camp. She's with the girl from Toronto who sold all the blood testing, billions. What'd she make? Like 8 million and lost it all. And then I think Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, one the real estate fraud or some kind of fraud, and she's in there with her. So, but the point being is, Jack, you did not leave El La Tuna until you had 10 years in, and you were a first offender, non-violent, non-sex offender, ex 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 cop, ex PD. You had everything, and you're a good. You did good things helping people at the low, and you still couldn't go until you had down to 10 years.
No, it's crazy. So I think what the deal is here, something, I think something's going to happen. Why wouldn't it? And the way the rest of this is going, I mean, Donald is going to either give her a pardon and everyone's going, oh my God, you can't do it. He'll do it. He don't care. He don't care about anything. Or she's going to walk away. And when she walks away, she won't be seen again because they'll go to another country or she just won't be seen again. And there's a lot of big shots in this. This shit just don't happen. It just doesn't happen. It amazes me. No,
Well,
it doesn't.
no.
It doesn't amaze me anymore. Nothing about this amazes me. And
No,
anybody out
I'm
there,
off the.
yeah, if
Oh
you're a
yeah.
Trump supporter, you're watching this, I don't give a shit what you think at this point. This is so goddamn ridiculous. I can't even, and it's not just this. But we're not going to get into politics because that's stupid. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen because we have experience with this shit. This is dumb.
I I don't know if it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen, but I get exactly what you're saying. And it's like this pardon thing you're talking about. I was just reading where they asked him, would you consider pardoning Diddy? And he goes, well, Diddy made some remarks about me against me during a political campaign, and I don't really appreciate that. And he goes, so it's really hard to pardon someone that you know and have an opinion about it. And they go, well, how about Ghislaine Maxwell? And he goes, I don't really know the particulars of her, but she's never insulted me. And then the third one, they asked him, what was the gay guy who's the congressman from New York, and he made up everything and got elected.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah, we're
Yeah,
both old. Sorry, guys, I can't remember his name. Anyways, they were asking Trump about him. He goes, well, he goes, I don't know him, and he goes, he always backed me on every one of my positions. So I'm probably going to consider it because he's a political ally, and any political ally of mine has a pardon coming. And
and that's
so
how
that's
much.
all she has to prove.
Yeah. And she will, because if you look at her testimony, everyone said she's lied all the way through it. She didn't give a damn about anybody else. She just continuously lied. She can't be trusted. The judge said that. Everybody said it. And now all she's got to do is pat Donald and say, "Hi, baby," and she'll get it. I'll protect you. Because he's going to do everything not to get that shit to come out. Before, I thought there was nothing in this list or whatever it is. I think they're
Yep.
all dirty. They're all in there. I'm beginning to think. I hate to sound like some conspiracy theorist because I don't believe in this bullshit. This isn't even a conspiracy anymore. This is a carnival. It's just so bizarre. But it's true. It's what this is. This is corruption at the highest level we're seeing, folks. Remember this because you can tell your grandkids about it if you can afford, or your kids can afford to have grandkids when this shit's all over with. I mean, that would be the big difference right there. I mean, this is something else I want to touch on real quickly after to show you we're not showing bias on how we think about this. Is the other day we discussed this, hearing about they've got some of the Hispanics are shipping back, whether it's legal or not. The problem that the Democrats have is they're in these prisons, and some of them are actually have to sleep on the floor, and they're only getting 2 meals a day. Well, I got news for you on that shit.
Uh,
I remember Chicago sleeping on the goddamn stairs. 240 or 280 guys with 160 bunks, and people sleeping on the floor. And sometimes they feed you, and sometimes they wouldn't. But we were all white and black dudes from America, so no one seemed to give a shit about that. I mean, it's amazing to me what's important. Yeah.
they care now. I mean, this
Fair
started
enough.
in the 70s for me. I was in LA County, and when I first got up in there, they put me down in the cells where there's bunks. I had to sleep under a bunk, and the toilet's right next to you. And then I've spent time down in a Texas jail on a pot charge, where I was in a holding facility. It took me. I was up on the floor on a mattress like you, Jack. It took me 2.5 months to get into a bunk. And and I had some money. I mean, at the time, a lot more than I do now. I mean, I had a good lawyer, I had money, and that doesn't matter. I slept on the floor for a couple of months, and they're making it sound like they're torturing these guys. I listened to a thing, and one of the commentators said they were drinking out of a toilet. But no, they weren't. The toilet and the sink are all one unit in most prisons and county jails. So the top part's a sink and the bottom part's a toilet. You don't drink out of the toilet. And so they sensationalize this fucking shit. But I mean, I swear, I mean, these guys, a lot of them are getting screwed. They're showing up for their court date and they're dragging them out of court. Don't
No,
get me
I agree with
wrong.
that.
Yeah, but don't sit there and tell me they're the only ones. I looked, even alligator Alcatraz. I mean, it looks like a million places I was in. Now the humidity and the bugs. Oh boy, I don't know, man. I did time in a humid place with no air conditioning. That's got to be rough. But other than that,
I'll tell you
we've
though,
been in
but
bad
okay,
places.
when I want to feel sorry from that, I'll tell you when this goes back to Lacuna. The the toilets in the chow hall ruptured one time, and there was human shit back there. And to make sure it wasn't an issue, they put one of those yellow tapes across the chow hall inside where you could see the shit, and it just had, do not cross. Still served chow in there and like that, but the tape saved us. You know, and
You
so
can
and these
eat in
guys,
there, huh?
they would eat it. And yet the cockroaches, which were everywhere in there, there are so many cockroaches in the tuna. They would shake the chow hall, the dining thing, and they'd run out all over the place. And you could hear them running. They were so big, you could hear them running across the floor. No one said a word about that. No one cared about that. We had
No,
guys in the tuna couldn't get medical and literally were dying in their bunks. Didn't read about that you
no.
know. And granted, we were all criminals, of course. We weren't these poor people getting sent back to these countries, some of who deserve it, some don't. But what's the big outcry now? It's political. It is. It is political. Both sides of it are, and that's what makes the difference. It does.
Yeah. It all comes back to when they tell me they're drinking out of a toilet, and I know what they're drinking out of. Don't don't bullshit somebody who's been there and done that, and that's about it. But anyways, we got anything else today?
No, tell everybody we had some people sign up and join us. We like that. Come back. We got lots of topics. We don't know what we're going to talk about from week to week. We get a hot button, get kind of pissed off, or we think something's funny. We come back. We're getting some funny stories out there. Get some good comments. We'll take all of them, good, bad, or whatever. We don't come out here acting like tough guys, showing all our tattoos. See, I'm tattoo free,
I've,
but he's probably not. But
I got none. Don't even fuck with me. You know
yeah,
better than that, man.
yeah, he's from California. They do shit out there. Anyway. So listen, come back and see us. GT, got any comments before we go?
Not hey, if you're in Riverside, come down to Brew Crew, grab a Prison Break beer product. Oh wait. What's that? Oh yeah, Prison Break. Anyways, support us, follow us. Hey, thanks everyone for watching. We appreciate it.
We do appreciate it. Seriously. If you got any comments, tell us what you think. If you got any stories about this, let us know. We'll put them on there. Jack and GT, Fed Joints, 2 beer joints. We'll see you soon.